Hey y'all, Michelle Johnson with Have Color Will Travel, and welcome back to my studio for my first video of 2025. And yes, I'm still struggling with writing the correct date. Although oddly enough, I'm writing 2015, not 2024. So I'm not sure what the psychology of that is, but for my first video of 2025, I wanted to begin the year of videos, of tutorials, of demos, of all the things that I share here on the Have Color Will Travel channel with generosity, warmth, and thanks. This has already been a really challenging beginning to a year, and we're barely a month and a half in. And so I wanted to begin in the most optimistic and open-hearted way possible. So how to do that? I wanted to start with what's giving me just this little spark of joy that comes from out of nowhere. I guess that sounds really strange. So let me explain what I'm talking about. I want to say thank you today, one, to all of the people that subscribe to the Have Color Will Travel channel. Thank you. I am well over 5,000 subscribers, which blows my mind. People seem to enjoy what I'm doing here. They're learning, they're participating, and I love those people that are commenting back and sharing their experiences with different art materials and asking really fun and interesting questions. That's why I'm here. I really enjoy talking about art materials, exploring art materials, making art, doing mixed media experiments with art materials. It's the thing that makes me light up. But because I do those kinds of things on my channels, people ask me questions about where did I get that supply? What is the name of that supply? How can I find it? Do you have a link? And my answer for the last couple of years has been, why, yes, I do. Because I'm an Amazon affiliate. And if that collection of two words is unfamiliar to you, let me briefly explain. Amazon affiliates are folks who we have a program with Amazon. It is usually small creators like myself. People like to ask us questions about the materials that we use or the products that we use, or people are doing reviews. I don't have an exclusively review-based channel, but there are channels like that where we try stuff out, we put it through its 1-2 punches, and then we share with you what we've learned. We are Amazon affiliates. Those links that are in our bios and descriptions of each of our videos are direct links from our blog or our website or our YouTube channel that will then tell Amazon that you, the viewer, which eventually becomes the shopper, is taking our advice or using our advice, using the knowledge, using the experience, and that's informing your shopping. So when you go and shop to Amazon through our links, we get a little bit of kickback for helping you out in that way, which also therefore helps out Amazon, obviously. It's not like, they're doing this out of the kindness of their hearts. But they know that folks like myself are trusted and that people who come to our channels have learned to know that we're gonna tell them the truth about something. We're gonna tell them, this didn't work, this did work, this says it works like this, but actually it works better like that. And that information helps them make the decision that will then inform how they spend their money on Amazon. That money comes back to us. It is ridiculously small how much money per those links comes back to us in the grand scheme of things. This is Amazon, one of the largest companies, if not the largest in the globe. But that money adds up. And recently, that money's been adding up really well for me, or in my universe, it feels really well. When I get an Amazon affiliate notification in my email that I've earned $20 or I've earned $12, that feels like a gift. Should I be that excited about some denomination that's so small? I don't know. I am. Life can be really challenging. Being an artist in this world can be really challenging. Being a human in this world can be really challenging. But knowing that somebody thought that what I thought was a really good idea, or trusted that I was sharing with them an honest truth about something, and that meant something to them. And so they're going to pay me back or give it back. What is that called when you pass it forward or send it forward or think it forward. And that ends up in my Amazon account for me to use at my discretion. That feels like a gift and it's exciting. It makes me feel connected to the world, that people are really watching and listening and learning. So Amazon affiliate links. I want to say thank you to all of you, all of my 5,000, I'm not going to get ahead of myself here. My 5,000, I think it's 5,274 today. Maybe I should have looked before I started this video. You're using my links. And because so many of you are using them, I'm getting regular small checks into my Amazon account for me to use at my discretion. And this is the Have Color Will Travel channel, y'all. How do you think I'm using that money? Art supplies. So today I wanted to share with you 5 of my most recent purchases that are really just informing my art practice and exciting me and teaching me, so that, you know, who knows, I may end up teaching you. I have been getting into things that I ordinarily wouldn't be bringing home because they don't inform any of the stuff that I'm already working on. This is just curiosity. I want to know, how does this work? Well, I'm using my Amazon affiliate money. I've decided that when somebody is supporting me by buying through my links about stuff that I share that they're interested in, well, then I'm going to continue to feed my curiosity, because that may then pay it forward back to you about something you might have been curious about, but felt a little uncomfortable. Hey, you know, I don't really need X, but maybe I can share with you about it and it'll feel more like you can make a decision. Yes, I do need this. Or no, I was right. I really didn't need that. That was just marketing. I didn't need that in my art stash. And now I know. Thank you very much. So today I've got 5 things that I'm sorry, I unboxed ages ago, because when it comes, I unwrap it and I get going. But my son gave me this idea. He's like, Mom, if you're doing a gratitude video, you should do an unboxing video. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? And just recently, as luck would have it, Amazon came to my door with something that I got recently with my January affiliates kickback money. So I thought I'd unbox that with you today. So I got 5 things that are not a surprise to me today. All of them are a surprise to you, I suppose. And then one thing, it's not a surprise to me, but I haven't opened it up. And it came 2 days ago, y'all. 2 days. But I haven't had time to make this video until today. So I've held off opening it up for authenticity's sake, which my son said wasn't necessary, but I'm like, that would drive me crazy to fake opening up a package. So here's to hoping it arrived in good shape and that this won't be all for nothing. Let's get started. As I said, I use my Amazon affiliate money, which comes in the form of Amazon gift cards. It does not come in the form of standard cash, checks, dollars. It comes in Amazon gift dollars. I use that to explore my curiosity and to add to my studio practice in ways that I wouldn't normally be investing in because it didn't seem like it was absolutely necessary. And these 2 things are things I was really, really curious about. So this is clear gesso and this is black gesso. As you can see, I've opened these up recently. These came in I had purchases made from my December Amazon affiliates, because the way we get paid with Amazon affiliates, it takes months for us to get paid. So a purchase you make in January, if you did it through a link that you found in one of my videos that you found helpful, that money would take 3 months before I would see an Amazon gift card reimbursement for that, or not reimbursement, but a reward for that. The reason why? We have to wait for that trial period of when you might return the product, in which case we wouldn't get the money for that. We wouldn't get the bounty. So it takes quite a while. You have to be very patient as an Amazon affiliate program associate is what they call us. Clear gesso, black gesso. I have seen folks doing interesting things with these 2 things. Gesso is really, on the whole, boring, I guess, for a lot of folks, because all it is you're preparing a surface. But I'd seen people do interesting things, so I thought I'd show you the beginnings of what I've done. This is, I mean, I have just, as you saw, I opened this, 2-3 weeks ago. I just dove right in January's been a stressful month, especially if you're living in the United States. So I did some introspective, intuitive art, and this started out with a straight black canvas. And if I'm really with it, I will go back to my camera roll and I will put some pictures of what this looked like along the way, somewhere around here. This started out as black and then slowly became this. Black gesso is super duper fun. If you, and it's like ridiculously black, I mean, solid black. It does have, though, I want to say this before I say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a video about gesso in the future because I'm really exploring gesso, all different kinds of gesso. If this video makes you excited about this, let me say one thing, one caveat. If you are smell sensitive, black gesso does have an odor. I'm not going to lie about it. Is it a bad odor? It's a defined odor. So it smells a little bit like a perfumed odor, but if you are a person that's a little bit bothered or even a lot bothered by Sharpie, this may bother you. It is less intense in my opinion. And I'm not super smell sensitive, but I'm very smell sensitive when it comes to Sharpies. This is smell sensitive when it's wet. So as I'm putting down the gesso, and I've only, well, let's see, wait, that's not true. I have gessoed, I'll stop talking because you probably can't hear me as I am in the back of the studio. I recently gessoed this monstrous, you can't even see it, this monstrous handmade sketchbook I did out of a full sheet, a 22 by 30. I did that in black gesso the other day, this week. If I had to spend a whole day with this smell, that would be a deal breaker. But because gesso is something you do fairly quickly, and this lays down really opaque, really fast, not streaky at all. So you don't have to do multiple coats. If it didn't do that, I think I would probably say, oh, I'm glad I bought this one bottle. I may not do it again. I'll see about some other way, maybe tinting clear, white gesso or clear gesso with acrylic ink and see if that was better. I can handle this to gesso, and in the minute it dries, it doesn't smell. But as you are laying it down onto your paper, your canvas, what have you, there's an odor. So keep that in mind. But I wanted to see what it was like to work from a truly negative black space. And if you're interested in seeing how this ginormous thing turns out, or if you're interested in black gesso at all, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a little bit more about that whole thing as I learn more and more about black gesso. And then the other, and I'm not done with this one yet, clear gesso. So why was I interested in clear gesso? That seems kind of silly. And I just opened this up late last week because we're only like February 7th. This, I had seen some artists using it over graphite and I really enjoyed the look. So this is Palomino Blackwing Black with gesso over it, and it does streak it just a little bit. And like I said, January's been a little stressful. So I've been taking some phrases that I'm kind of making into mantras. Calm. It's okay to just be, to kind of let all of the new developments in the US sink in because it's hard to keep up, and then while I gather my strength, because there's a lot of responding. Anyway, I'm not going to get too far into that, but there are things that need to be done. We have a lot of hard work to do in this nation. But gesso, that's clear. This is very textured, which I didn't think there'd be a difference, but this is quite a bit smoother. This is quite a bit more grainy. And it was really interesting. This is acrylic, watered down golden open acrylic. So I wanted to make it kind of look like watercolor. And you can see that makes it so I can paint over, or I could even do more opaque stuff over it. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I would like to see how different measurements of graphite, so hardnesses and softnesses, respond to the limited amount of liquid. There's not a whole lot of liquid in gesso. That's why it dries so quickly. What it does, because I wanted this to streak, so I used a really soft graphite. But this is super fun. Both of these, thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring these home. I already had a big bottle of gesso, white gesso. I didn't need to bring these home. You made it possible for me to explore my curiosity, and I am having so much fun. The second way I've been spending my Amazon affiliate money is on used books. This summer, I spent a lot of time at my library, my local branch, Seguin Public Library. Thank you very much. It's amazing. Going through our art section, and I discovered these 4 books. The Colored Pencil Solution Book, Paint with the Watercolor Masters, a step-by-step guide to materials and techniques for today's artists. Watercolor is for everyone, and Practical Printmaking. I fell in love with these 4 books. So much to the point is I almost got fines. We are a no-fine library, but after you've had it out for 3 months, they say you either bring it back or you buy it, and it's really expensive to buy a library book. So when I got a Amazon affiliate check in the mail, I decided to go and see, because these are not new books. This is fairly new, but these 3, these are fairly classic books in the canon of art. And I went and brought these home from the used book sites on Amazon, and I am loving them. I want to learn more about colored pencil. This book, I'm not necessarily interested in creating colored pencil work like this, but what I am interested in is learning just in a more systematic way how colored pencils work. And I want to learn that knowledge, and I don't feel like I have experienced that in a classroom or even online. In my own experience, I have lots of colored pencils, but I've never explored them like paint. I've never explored them the way that I've explored traditional painting materials, and that's what this book tends to walk me through. And I've already started putting it into action by doing some of these exercises with the colors I have. So this is with wheels of, well, the colors of the rainbow, the color wheel. What am I trying to say? The color wheel with Prismacolors. This is using what I call the pencil color, which would be like the straight out of the tube color. And this is using just a 3-color palette. So I used only 3 colored pencils to create the exact same palette. And this book is kind of walking, well, it's not kind of, this book is walking me step by step through this. And I'm taking it very slowly. This is with my Faber-Castells. And I'm learning how to think of colored pencils, because I have some very nice ones, like paint. I'm learning to feel more masterfully in control, I guess, or painterly about my colored pencils. I'm also learning how the colored pencils respond to paper. So this is a traditional, this book that I started in, it's a sketchbook that I'm slowly getting through because it's very large. This is a traditional drawing paper coloring book, 90 pound. I've really loved this, and I've been able to do kind of a lot of different things in here. But I've noticed, you know, in doing this colored pencil solutions books activities, and I have prepared for myself quite a few. I think you can see that on camera. What I'm hoping to do. It took some time for me to prepare this, and I'm gonna get through it eventually over time. Colored pencil is slow work, y'all. I'm learning that different binders within the pencils work differently with different paper. Faber-Castell pencils are really phenomenal. They're not great on this drawing paper, this 90 pound, let's see, drawing paper. They've got, this is a fine texture. I believe this will probably do better with a grippier, toothier paper. Whereas Prismacolors work really, really well. Wax binder, oil binder. Super fun things for me to learn. That's what the Colored Pencil Solution book is doing. The watercolor is for everyone. This book I did buy new. It is not an old book, but we had it in our library. I got this not necessarily to teach me how to do watercolor, but on days when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I want someone else to tell me what to do, because sometimes as an artist we get decision fatigue. There are so many decisions that I make as an independent artist every day, and at the end of it I'm like, when my husband says, what do you want for dinner, I'm like, I don't care. I can tell you what I don't want. If you say burgers and my gut instinct says, oh, the answer is no, but I can't tell you what I want. I've made too many decisions all day and I just have decision fatigue. This book tells me what tools to gather, tells me what direction to go, and I don't necessarily have to go with that direction, but it takes away having to make the decision. It's also offline. When I checked it out at the library, I just really enjoyed the energy of the author, Katera, I think it is, or Kateri, I'm not really sure. Ewing, I just enjoyed the energy. I mean, look at this cover, it's just super calming. I even enjoyed it so much that this summer, my mom and I took one of the exercises for what am I trying to say? For a distance art date with my mom, because my mom lives in Phoenix, Arizona, and I live in Seguin, Texas. And I talked us through this, and we both came away with it with some really, really fun art. And for me, a really fun memory of doing art online with my mom. So thank you for this book, y'all. Paint with the Watercolor Masters. I got this last year because the watercolor class I was taking at the university wasn't giving us any history. I may never go through the tutorials in this. I might. You never know. Like I said, I do like to be told what to do sometimes because decision fatigue is real. But the first, third of the book, and I read it from the library, this is like watercolor history. And I went and looked online for other books like this, thinking maybe I could get a whole history of watercolor. They're all out of print and $1 million. Maybe not 1 million, but like 200. And this one is not. It was a used book that someone was getting rid of for less than $10. I'm like, this is really good information. I want to keep a hold of this. I would probably go back and read it. The pictures are exceptional. Like, sometimes you have books that have, plates, and the transfers are bad. These are really, really good. And finding watercolor masters, meaning historical watercolor pieces, in museums, really hard. I don't know if you've noticed that. There's not a whole lot of watercolor on view for folks that are interested in studying the history of watercolor. This book answered it. And obviously, it was a museum. It was a library copy from the Zion Benton Public Library in Zion, Illinois. Thank you, Zion, Illinois, for donating this or selling this, however it is, for making sure that it wasn't popular at your library, but now I got to bring it home. And I love it. Same thing with this book, Practical Printmaking. I am officially head over heels for printmaking. And this has both activities and just really the nuts and bolts about the tools. I have taken a printmaking class at the college level. I learned loads. I got very excited. I have never felt as excited about anything as when I completed my first edition, and every single one of them was worthy of my signature and editioning. And if you know anything about printmaking, that's a huge deal. But I don't know how to print at home. And there's a lot of techniques and tool information and suggestions for how to print at home. I don't have a printing press. I will never have a printing press, y'all. They are thousands of dollars and they take up whole rooms. I need to learn how to do this art form that I fell head over heels for at home. And this book, which has, well, this is published ages ago, if I remember right. Yeah, 1996. Found this online on Amazon used. I used my Amazon Associates money and brought it home. And I'm so thankful. Thank you for making that possible. So for those of you that have been following my channel for a while, you're not surprised that I used my Amazon Associates money to bring home a fountain pen, or to bring home a pen. I have been exploring fountain pens very, very cautiously. Fountain pens can be very expensive. I don't necessarily need the Rolex of fountain pens, but I do need would like to have a fountain pen that does a lot and that is reliable, interesting, and makes curious lines. I've talked about the Sailor Fude and Manon tip, which is this crazy, awesome I don't even know what I'm doing here. Maybe let's make a tree. It just has this really, I may need to be filling in some more ink in here. Crazy line. What it isn't though, is a traditional pointed pen. And when I was trying to do blind contour drawing with the Sailor Foodie de Manon, this is a foodie tip. Let me see, get it right there. If you can see it on my hand, it's a bent nib. I believe, if I remember right, this is a 45-degree angle, which is wonderful. But when you're doing a blind contour drawing, that means that you're using your hand, you're drawing something, but your eyes are not looking at your paper. And when that happened, sometimes I didn't have the nib in the right space, because you have to really hold the Sailor Foodie de Manon pen in a particular way if you're watching your nib. So enter the Pilot. So can you see the title? It's so, the Pilot Kakuno. Notice they make a little smiley face. I think that's super cute. This is actually a grade school pen for fountain pen in Japan. And you can see, I think you can see, it's hard. I mean, there we go. There's a little smiley face on the pen to let you know. He's even sticking his tongue out to let you know how to hold it. I love this pen. This is, I believe, the Fine. Yes, and it tells you right there so that if you don't forget, it says it's a Fine. I love this pen, and you can't tell, but I'm not looking away. I'm just drawing, and I'm going to see. There it is. Every which way, if I hold it just this way, and this is a hexagonal barrel or beveled. I honestly don't know if it's no, it's more than 5 shapes or 5 sides. Once you hold it, your hand knows it's in the right space, so I can do whatever I want. It's a very fine, wonderful nib, and I'm having a ball. I'm not quite ready to do a full video on these because I did buy more than one. This was the one that I bought with my associate's money, and then I found out I loved it. And I had to explore the extra fine nib and then the medium nib. I've also been exploring inks. I'm not quite ready to report back on that yet, but if you're curious about that, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure that I will make a video about my fountain pen explorations. But this was the first one I brought home. I did bring it home, and also a converter. It comes with cartridges. I haven't used them yet because I like to use my own ink. I really want my ink pens to be either permanent, waterproof, or water soluble. This one's a water soluble pen. I know it because I nailed it. Felix the cat, not Felix the cat. Which cat is this? This is the reading cat. Nailed it. Lets me know that that is permanent ink. So this is the converter. And that month, the Pilot pen and the converter together was about $16. And I got this pen for $16 with my Amazon Associates money. And I was very excited about it. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be. So thank you very much for making that possible. Pete the cat, not Felix. Pete the reader cat. Okay, thing number 4 that I brought home. Looks super duper boring, I'm sure, but to me, it's very exciting. This is just a simple tin of full pans. I have never had full pan sized watercolor holders. I bought this a few years ago. So it's the same company. I don't remember it off the top of my head. There will be a link down below in the description because I do really like this case. And I bought the half pans. It comes with magnets, and I love it for keeping my mini water. This is my blue and reds case. For keeping it organized for traveling. If I'm going to go painting, I just throw my cases into my bag. It's really thin. And it gets me going where I need to go. But I've been having a development in my practice where I'm using larger brushes, and I don't like sticking my nice brushes that are bigger or fatter or longer into these half pans. I wanted to invest in some half pans and a similar thing. Now I have more, this is a 20, I think I remember right, this is a 20 half pans. I have way more colors than I do the pans. So I've been trying to, the reason why I got this a couple months ago but I haven't used it, I need to sit down and think which colors do I want to squeeze into these half pans. And that's been a little too much for me to think about. both with all the things going in the world and then also the things going in my son's health. But it is a fun task on the horizon for me to enjoy. And it is because of y'all and all of your wonderful usage of my Amazon links when you watch my videos that I was able to invest in this. And then eventually I gotta get some stickers for it as well. So that now I will have my half pan set and my full pan set. And then I'm ready to go watercolor out in the world. The fifth thing I want to talk to you about today is probably, I don't want to say it's the most, I mean, is it boring? I don't know. If you know what it is, you probably don't think so. This is Post-it tape. And let me get a little closer for you. Here we go. Post-it tape. It is essentially what it says. It's kind of like a correction tape. I don't have to do this with what I've done with the top. I just want to keep it from drying out because I don't use it every day. But it looks like that. And you can use this as borders in your painting. So if you want to mask something out, because it's repositionable and it doesn't adhere to your paper, I am using this in a calendar project to change the dates. So I have a perpetual calendar that I made for myself, but I was struggling with figuring out how to change the dates to the new year. I thought, oh, I'll just paint over them and repaint them again, the number. That took a lot of time. You can see here, before I started to use it, I wanted to test all the different pens that I might put on it. So for my calendar project, and I eventually, and I went like this, like how fast was it going to smoosh? My Kakuna that I just showed you, the ink didn't dry very quickly, and that didn't surprise me. This is paper-like, but it's not paper. It's got a sheen to it. Posca works fabulous though. So this is working out super fun. I'm not exactly sure. It says right here, I think it's 4 yards. And it's a lot. There's a lot in here. You can buy them in larger quantities. I'm like, I want to see how well I use this, how frequently, how often, and how reusable it is before I have to use another little piece of it again. So this was not something I absolutely needed. It was just something that seemed like it would solve a problem that I had with my perpetual calendar. And I thank you. I brought it home and it works the charm. It is absolutely perfect. So now let's get to that unboxing. I'm so excited. Okay. I have never done something like this before where I open something live on camera. I'm also not known to be the best package opener, and this is like a new way for Amazon packaging. Ooh, here it is. So this is what I got, y'all, and thank you so much. I have had, let me stand up so you can see, I have had this dip pen, get rid of the packaging. I've had this dip pen in my Amazon cart forever. What is it? Well, super excited. Hope it's not broken. That you never know with Amazon stuff. That's why there's the 30-day return policy. You want to get in there and return it, get into your product and see if it's got all the things you need. This is basically, I think you can see, it's a Hokoro, it's a Sailor Fude de Manon dip pen. So it's basically what this pen is that I'm always so excited about, but in a dip pen. Did I need this? Depends on your point of view. And no, I cannot read Japanese, but Google Lens does a lot. I don't think I'm gonna have to. So I'm seeing this for the first time, y'all, and I'm pretty sure I know what to do. So let's take a look. This, oh, my hands are always so, yeah, there we go. There she is. Oh, look at her. And I love this color. It's almost chartreuse. It's like a, if there was such a thing as an olive lemon color, this is it. So this is a, can you see that? My light's weird today because it's so sunny. I had to close the blinds because it would blind you. That's a bent nib dip pen. And to protect the nib, so you can travel with this. Oh, it goes that way. So that's, okay, that's right. You put it in there, and now you could travel with this and you're not going to hurt your nib. But let's see how it works. I hope you'll indulge me. I think probably because I get so excited about things, this is probably still going to be a fairly, oh, click. Oh, say, okay. So did you hear that? Well, you heard that. But when you put it, you match the flat end to the flat end and you slide it inside, listen carefully. It clicks. So you know that it's not going to pop off. And then this is pretty, and I have a lot of autoimmune issues, so my hands have very little grip as a general rule, but I can take this off. And so let's listen again. It's in. Let's play with it. Let's just take this piece of paper. So I've never used this before. So these are my other dip pens. I really, really love them. Don't get me wrong. But just like I really love my Sailor Fruity de Manin in my fountain pen, I wanted a pointed pen, fountain pen as well. Just like I love my pointed pen dip pens, I really wanted a Sailor Fruity de Manin dip pen because sometimes you just want that crazy line, and dip pens are more structured, and I'll show you the difference. Do I need a new piece of paper? I think it'll be fine. We'll just do it up here. All right, so this is my favorite dip pen ink. This is Black Cat India ink. Why it's my favorite, and it's by Blick, but you can get it on Amazon. Let's see how this goes. It's hard to see what I'm doing here. Okay. How this is going to work. Oh, it's like I thought it would be. You can get the fine lines. How fine can you go? Oh, you can go. It's hard to know. Okay, so I feel like that's really in there. It's very different than a traditional. See how this is hollow in a traditional dip pen nib? This is not. This looks very much like the Sailor nib. It's got a solid structure. So seeing where your ink is a little more difficult, especially since it's black as well. But I had read that it holds a lot of ink. I'm going to do it one more time though. Let's see. I don't know if I need to like dab off. Oh, look at the fine line. Oh, so exciting. And then you can get this. Oh, wow. You can really lay on. Okay, let's see. Okay, I did not mean for this to be this dip pen kind of like demo, but hey, thank you. This is my thank you. I'm so excited to be doing this with you. If you like dip pens too, hopefully this is exciting to you. Or if you just like watching me play while you have your yogurt. Why do I say have yogurt? Because that's what I do when I take time to watch a YouTube video. I'm having yogurt. It's a weird thing, I'm sure. So let's see how long I can go with the fat side of the nib. Wow. Okay, I'm running out of room with my hand. I have to let it, I don't have room over here. Look at how much ink is in that nib from a dip. Oh my gosh, I have to move this again. My hand's running out of space. Am I gonna run out of paper? Wow. So normally, y'all, oh, I'm running out of paper. Let's change angles. Normally, y'all, if I'm doing pen and ink and I'm doing it with a dip pen and I want to fill in a larger black space, I do not do it with a dip pen. I clean off my dip pen nib. Oh my Lord, look how long I'm going. I'm not done, and it's still super juicy. Let's keep it up. I clean my dip pen nib, either in water or hand sanitizer, because the alcohol hand sanitizer is a nice way to clean your dip pen on the go. Especially, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to do a full border around this mess of lines with this one dip? Oh, I'm getting distracted. So if I wanted to fill in space like this with black ink solid, I would stop and get a paintbrush, because it would just, one, it would be tedious to do. Two, you would really tear into your paper, because pointed pens are, they're sharp. especially if you're using a G-nib. I use G-nibs and I use pumpkin heads. Not a super okay, we got to keep on going, y'all. Holy cow. When is it gonna run out of ink? This is the coolest thing. Now that's not running out. Okay, so those lines where it's getting more, it was thicker here, it's because I'm not sure my ink is dry, and so I'm changing the angle of my hand, and that changes the angle of the line, because this is the Sailor Fude de Man dip pen, and Fude nibs have a really dynamic, wow, holy cow. It is not giving up. It's still juicily, oh my goodness, coming out. So yeah, I would fill in a larger dark space if that's what I wanted with a paintbrush, with a you know, fine-tipped paintbrush, so I'd have control, but still a paintbrush, because the pen nib would tear into the paper, or you'd just be constantly dipping back in to get more ink, or it would be scratchy looking, because dip pens are not known for having smooth flat lines, because you use them for precision work. You use them for, there we go. Okay, we're slowly, oh wait, maybe. My goodness. All right, let me talk about how it feels to hold this pen. I mean, it's short. This is not a long pen. Look at how long it is compared to, let's put them tip to tip. It's missing 2 inches. But because it has this little dip, kind of a hourglass. Oh wait, maybe we're finally getting to the end of its reservoir. Because it's got the, yeah, we're getting there. The hourglass shape to it. Well, I guess I just was changing my hand. The hourglass shape to its reservoir. It's comfortable to hold. I'm not holding this I normally would. I would normally hold a pen like this for writing mostly. I'm holding this a little more delicately. Where this might be challenging is if you like to do more experimental drawing with your line work and you hold, let's see if I can hold it from back here. You can. Oh, yeah, you can still do that. Okay. I was going to say that that's not possible, but it totally is. And if I hadn't just tried to exhaust the reservoir, which is still not exhausted, oh my Lord. This is going to go on forever. This is so cool. Yeah, so you could do more experimental line work with this pen as well. Oh, why did I wait so long? But when I say, well, I've got dip pens. Okay, we're getting scratchy. We're getting scratchy, and that's it. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. The Sailor Fude, I don't remember what this is called. This is not the Fude de Man. That is, here, I've got some water here. I want to, before I start talking there. So that ink you're seeing is because when you dip a pen in dip ink, let me see, are you seeing the ink? I have no idea if I'm on camera. Yep, there I am. Where's my paper towel? There we go. When you are using dip pens, the top of your pen is going to get covered with ink too, as well as the side and what have you. And so, yeah, it's going to get ink in it. That's dip pen and ink is not a tidy art practice. I am very much a fan of letting kids be using mature art supplies under supervision, especially if those art supplies have toxic ingredients, because even though it says it's ASTMD, you still don't want kids putting their hands in their mouths and all kinds of stuff like that. But if you've got a conscientious kid, it's probably okay to use. I was a conscientious kid, so I could be given more mature art supplies because I wasn't going to do crazy things with them when I was going to remember to wash my hands and not eat snacks while I did my art practice. I don't know. Maybe that's not ink. That's the pen. Okay. I'm trying to clean something that's not cleanable. Awesome. Oh, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the ability to bring this pen home. I am so excited to use this week on one of my drawing projects that I'm not ready to talk about. It's kind of exciting to me, but it's also a little nerve-wracking, and it's something where I have to make good and follow through with it. Oh, this tells you too. This is the fine point nib. I am so excited. They make different ones of these, and I may just have to go and put those in my Amazon cart to remind me that this is something I want to bring home with my next Amazon affiliates check, is perhaps a slightly different nib, maybe a different point. But this is a super duper fun and effective. Oh my God, let me make sure. Always remember to check and see if your ink is closed. That is just crazy how much ink is in that reservoir. That is not what it's like to draw with standard dip pens. So I have talked at length, and thank you for listening to me. Thank you for being a part of my journey in art, my journey on YouTube, my journey as an Amazon affiliate. Thank you for being a part of this video, for letting me be this enthusiastically grateful, because I am. Thank you so much for watching. If this video brought you joy, and you know, there's something in here that might be interesting to a friend of yours or someone who needs a little pick-me-up who likes to watch art videos, please do like, share, subscribe, all of those good things. Share this stuff so that people can, I don't know, keep on keeping on, because things are pretty tough right now. And we have to stay motivated, because we have to stay, we can't fall into despair. We've got work to do. We've got battles to fight, and we've got people to fight for. So we have to stay emotionally resilient. Thank you for helping me stay emotionally resilient by bringing me the opportunity to bring this pen home, because this is so fun. All of the supplies I shared with you today, the black and clear gesso, the mini books that I talked about, the Pilot Kakuno fountain pen, my palettes, my Post-it tape. Thank you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.